So we're about to start. Okay. In five, four, three. ladies and gentlemen from across the world, welcome to another fantastic Thursday. And this is Certified Cinema coming to you live on Icon Radio. We do this every Thursday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you're listening to Champez Nawiri, your ever dependable host, movie lover, movie reviewer, recommender, and nerd evangelist. Once again, my name is Campus Nawiri, and welcome to airing number 8. Thank you so much for sticking with us through the start of this show all the way up to now. And if you're just joining us, this is your number one entertainment plug and radio show for all things movies and TV. This is where we come to do movie reviews, thematic analysis, recommendations, and talk about all things pop culture. And in that spirit, we have one very special guest for you today, a pop culture connoisseur and one of the people spearheading the growing of the geek culture in Kenya. If you've heard of MJX and the recently concluded Otamatsuri, the anime convention that happened in 2025, just this past week, that is the biggest anime convention in Africa. And today we have the co-founder of Movie Jabba, which is the home of pop culture experience in Kenya, and the organizers behind your two favorite pop culture events in Kenya, that is MJX and Otamatsuri. I'm talking about none other than Jotham Micah. And today he will be helping us dissect the growth and the future of the geek culture in Kenya. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Jotham Micah. Jotham.
Hey man, thank you for having me. Quite the intro.
Yeah. Yeah. Super intro for a Superman. I'm gassing you up too much.
You're supposed to tell anyone I'm Superman. I told you that in confidence.
Yeah. Clark Kent in Kenya. We call him Jotham. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming, man. We've always wanted to have you on this show, because this is the number one place where all the geeks come to talk about movies, and this is also coming off your efforts in the industry, creating a safe space for everything pop culture. That's why we have Movie Jabba and we have Otamatsuri. So before we begin, I just want to say thank you for being one of the champions, for giving a safe space for geeks in Kenya.
I appreciate it. A lot of teamwork went into it.
Uh,
I wouldn't call it a safe space per se, because especially those fandom wars,
yeah.
DC versus Marvel,
Uh-huh.
One Piece versus everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a fun world.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think I'm more grateful that I'm involved in it.
Mhm.
By God's grace, I got to be a part of it,
Yeah.
and I'm able to do what I do. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I'm like eternally grateful for that. Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been, in this business?
For 65 years, actually.
65 years.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't look 65.
Oh, well, I try. Well, thank God it's working. Charcoal every day with lemon and hot water. Uh, um, I've been a fan since the age of 4.
Yeah.
My dad bought me two comic books,
Mhm.
Superman
Yeah.
and the Incredible Hulk.
Mhm.
And I think for me, as far as I remember, that's when it started.
Mhm.
But who knows what he saw, like what made him specifically buy those two comic books.
Yeah.
Because again, he used to really encourage me to draw.
Mhm.
I used to now, we grew up outside of Kenya. He worked for the Kenyan embassy.
Mhm.
So I think every month, I don't really remember the frequency of the
Mhm.
specifics around this specific aspect.
Yeah.
But we would get backlogs of Kenyan newspapers.
Mhm.
They'll be distributed around the families, around the embassy.
Yeah.
So my particular favorite edition was the Sunday newspaper,
Mhm.
because it had the comic book panel, the Phantom,
Yeah.
Odyssey Blaze, Flash Gordon,
Yeah, I remember those.
Popeye.
Yeah.
So I think pretty much it's still happening right now.
Mhm.
And I used to trace over them. And pretty much distribute them to the kids in school.
Mhm.
And they used to be like, "Oh wow, Jotham can draw." And I just used to be like, well, yes, kinda I can, but it's not really my drawing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so from that point, I think I pretty much my dad before he's passing, he just
Mm-hmm.
it, God used him to give me a proper understanding of what my passions are
Mm-hmm.
and also where I'd end up. So I knew for a fact that I would either end up in sports because
Mm-hmm.
my dad was also athletic.
Yeah.
He actually got a scholarship
Yeah.
to study abroad because of sports.
Mm-hmm.
Not the kind of sport I prefer now, but yeah, that I knew it would either be sports
Mm-hmm.
or it would either be within this industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had a thing for cinema, superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I just knew I would end up doing both or one of the two, and that's where I am today.
Yeah. Awesome. And since I'm already putting you on blast, I've already revealed you as Superman. I've given away your secret identity. I want to give another. I want to give away another. Did you know fact? Did you guys know that your favorite, geek culture founder in Kenya, Jotham Micah, was also a player for Nondi's RFC?
Yeah. Yep. Hence the sport aspect. Yeah,
Yeah.
played for Nondies, I think for 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Before going back home, where true rugby's played, Kenya Harlequins.
Yeah.
Hashtag sure strong superior. Yeah, but pretty much levitated around Gong Road.
Mm-hmm.
My first club rugby, my first club was basically Impala.
Yeah.
After campus, Impala.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think was there for a year.
Yeah.
Got injured, stayed away for a bit, then joined Kenya Harlequins, and I've been there since then.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with a slight detour to Nondies,
Mm-hmm.
they wanted a lot of help, so I figured, yes, let me help them.
We will not tolerate Nondi's slander here because I actually played for Nondi's. Maybe we would have met on the pitch, but I took a hiatus.
Yeah.
When you moved back, things happen.
I mean, for the record, Nondies are great people.
Yeah.
Still have a lot of friends from that point of my life, and the
Yeah.
brotherhood there is just like amazing. And I think that's the cool thing about rugby.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you meet somebody who's played rugby with you,
Yeah.
or who even if you didn't play rugby with them, you've played rugby, that brotherhood and respect stays.
Yeah.
You know, you really will do your best to help them out if they ever need your help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what I love best about that environment.
Great. I love that we started with a bit of your backstory, and we want to go deeper into that with a quick
Sure.
fire round.
Sure.
So let me take off my headphones because I want to hear this correctly. I want to see where to place you on the fandom spectrum.
Okay,
Okay, so are you ready for quick fire?
I'm ready.
So just answer as quickly. If you can answer in one word, sure.
Okay.
All right. So, first question.
Superman.
It's not there, but okay.
Okay.
Favorite movie of all time?
Oh wow, Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Most underrated TV show right now?
Ooh, dang. Wow. The tricky thing about that question is I don't really watch TV shows per se. Slow Horses. Although it's not underrated, everybody loves it who watches it, but I don't think it gets the hype it's supposed to get.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll put that on my list. Marvel or DC?
DC.
Put it there.
Although slight history, DC Marvel comics for a bit, especially when the MCU was gearing up. Then I started seeing the adaptations on the big screen were not really what was happening in the comic books.
Mhm.
So yeah, I went back to DC. There was a point where the DC comics, like the comic books themselves, were struggling, and Marvel was doing really great.
Yeah.
Especially with the Ultimates, the
Yeah.
Ultimate Avengers. That
Mhm.
storyline was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation,
Manga or anime?
anime.
Okay. Which movie, TV, or anime character do you relate to most?
Dang. I think Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. Then top of my I'm just thinking now, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Binge watching or one episode a week?
That's very difficult. Let me say one episode a week, although it's a love-hate relationship between both options, because you
Mhm.
binge watch and you're done.
Mhm.
Then you're done in one day. Then you have to wait a whole year. Whereas watching an episode per week,
Yeah.
it kind of extends it. There's some pain there, but it
Mhm.
kind of extends it across 8 weeks or 12 weeks, depending on how long the series is. Yeah,
Ah.
but I would choose per week.
Okay. Popcorn or nachos?
Nachos.
Streaming at home or cinema experience?
Cinema experience.
If you had to erase one fandom from existence, which one would it be?
One Piece.
A lot of hate there. One word to describe the Kenyan geek culture today.
Passionate.
MJX or Otamatsuri?
Otsumatsuri.
Okay. So he has a bias. Now we know.
Otsumatsuri because anime soundtracks, you can't beat them. You can't beat anime soundtracks. And it's a perfect excuse to play them out loud
Yeah.
in the venue. Yeah.
Awesome. So now we've gotten to know about you. Now we want to get a bit into movie Jabba and your perspective on the geek culture in Kenya. Right. So for those who are new and getting into this space, the geek culture refers to the community of people who are into everything pop culture in terms of movies, TV shows, anime, where you see guys doing the cosplays, guys having debates about their favorite movies, comic books. That's what encompasses the geek culture in Kenya. And movie Jabba has been, one of the biggest conveyors and champions of that culture. This culture seems to be something kind of very, very uncommon in Kenya. So I'm just curious to know, like, what sparked the idea for the whole, for the start of movie Jabba.
So, again, I've mentioned briefly, like being a fan from the age of 4,
Yeah.
as far as I can remember. But I do believe there was something that my dad saw in me to make him introduce me to that world.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the foundation. And I'm the kind of person, or rather how God has made me, I don't take part in anything unless I have a passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I find it very difficult to watch football, or as they call it, soccer,
Yeah.
which is what my dad played. Because I don't relate to the diving thing where you dive, pretend you're hurt to milk points. Whereas in rugby, you pretend you're not hurt so as to gain more points. So you see, I those two different worlds. So I'd rather watch rugby because I've played rugby. I still train as well, although I don't play like before, but I do train to a certain level of intensity as before. I can physically relate to it. But realizing that there are fellow fans here in Kenya, but there was no experience, no event or content that allowed them to congregate, come together, and share that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, the second thing is, I had a collection of comic books that I'd collected over the years. My dad used to let me buy, at the minimum, one comic book a month. At the minimum. If I was really good,
At the minimum.
at the minimum.
So there's a max.
Max was like 2, so not much of a difference. You get. So it really made me choose at times.
Mm-hmm.
So Superman was constant. Then if I was allowed 2, it'd be Hulk, or I'll try experiment.
Yeah.
So, but now everybody's now introduced to the DC versus Marvel thingy.
Yeah.
But I think before there really wasn't a versus thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a preference thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so painfully on 2 separate occasions, my stack of comic books were not returned.
Mm-hmm.
That was very painful because you start from scratch again.
Yeah.
And then they were always not returned, or in this case, stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened. Maybe, I know, who knows what happened. Maybe this guy's moved because at that time, what's up and all that stuff, mobile smartphones weren't really there.
Mm-hmm.
So realizing that, okay, this is the second time my collection of comic books have been stolen.
Yeah.
And it's always with somebody you've built a relationship with. You've been exchanging comic books for quite a while, for years. I have this issue, they give you their issue.
Yeah.
Then you decide to risk it and give them your entire batch, and they never return it.
Yeah.
So that made me realize that there is a fan base here.
Yeah.
So let's do something, let's create events and content around it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very condensed version of the history behind Movie Jabber. But then to give you, so originally Movie Jabber had the name Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to our YouTube channel right now, you'll see the first video vlogs we used to do way back then, like in 2010, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at that time I went to certain brands. I went to cinemas and I went to, I think, Safaricom, if I'm not mistaken. And I was looking for sponsorship because it's like, we want to do a review show, but not on TV. We put the videos online. I was just like, I don't know why, but I think digital videos will be really big, or the digital video concept will be really big 10 years from now.
Yeah.
This was in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So, and by the way, I was saying stuff like that and I was not on social media. I was just on Facebook, but I hated social media.
Yeah.
Because pretty much a private person. Like, my social media accounts are to manage give access to the business
Yeah.
accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they didn't believe me then. And I remember the cinemas now just gave us a stack of DVDs. These DVDs were gotten from the studios because the studios would send them like B-roll footage
Mm-hmm.
of behind the scenes production. So they were supposed to use this to promote upcoming movies.
Yeah.
I think we see certain shows online or on TV do that. This upcoming movie, they show you interview clips with the actors,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So they will be sent a lot of DVDs with such content
Yeah.
for them to give media houses to use to promote movies.
Yeah.
Now, the people there were like, look, we can't give you money because we don't think this idea will work.
Mm-hmm.
But, here are DVDs. You go we've given you content. Go and make something of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the name Blockbuster, and we did, there's a couple other stupid vlogs. You may recognize some of the faces on
We'll
the
dig
vlogs
into them.
if you dig through. Yeah,
Yeah.
some of them are pretty popular people right now.
Mm-hmm.
So then after a while, obviously you're doing this out of passion. You're recording studio space. You're paying it out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And again, remember, digital videos, social media at that time in 2011 was not big.
Mm-hmm.
So all this stuff you're making, if you don't have TV or radio as a platform
Yeah.
or a website, like it's going nowhere.
Yeah.
YouTube was there, but then you're getting 300 views. You're like, yay, 300 views is something organically.
Mm-hmm.
But those views would dip really fast. So eventually we just kind of dropped it. Guys split.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was just like, this is really passionate. And I think some business person had talked to me, or I'd read somewhere, I don't remember, but the notion came to me that if you really believe in something, don't let it die, especially if it's a business idea. If you think it's a business idea, look for a problem that you can solve. Just one problem. If your business idea truly has value, then you should be able to find one problem that you should be able to solve, and then from there grow.
Yeah.
So I sat down, thought about it. I was like, what is the biggest problem now?
Mm-hmm.
You get, and what is the basic resource I can use? So those two things, what is the problem and what is the basic resource you can use to solve that problem?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, changed the name from Blockbuster, changed it to Movie Jabber.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, needs a name, but needs a new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Jabber is English, Jabber.
Mm-hmm.
That means to talk about something in a way that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So we represent a fan base who can go really deep. Like, look at the quickfire questions you asked me. We can go really deep into whatever fan base or animation or adaptation we're into.
Mm-hmm.
Books, movies, TV shows. We can go really, really deep into it. To a casual fan or to somebody from the outside, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
You're jabbering to me.
Yeah.
You get. Then why movie? Because movie as a genre is the intersection point.
Yeah.
It's where all these different subgenres of pop culture connect. Video games become movies become books become movies, and whatnot. Movies have great soundtracks by great artists, so there's intersection there. And movies is the first platform where the normies or the weebs are introduced to something big, something that has been niche for a bit. Hence the name Movie Jabber. Then approached a buddy of mine. We've been like campus roommates for a bit, and he had the same passion as well, Chiso. So I asked him to come on board as co-founder, and the solution we decided to solve was at that time the biggest problem was you got your DVD guy in town. There used to be a DVD store in Lonor House, where Capital FM used to be.
Yeah.
Those guys were cool though. They were like the cool people. But then there are other DVD stalls whereby they'll sell you a DVD and tell you, for example, Prison Break is out. 8 episodes of season 1 are available.
Yeah.
You, as a layman, would believe it. You'd pay your 50 bob or your 100 bob for the 2 DVDs. You go home and find there are only 2 episodes. The rest of the stuff is filler content.
Yeah.
So that used to happen to me a lot. Used to happen to a lot of people. It was very annoying.
Yeah.
Because there were So there are very few guys who actually had access to torrent sites where they could download stuff, download music. It's not like now. You can just log in and find, all these different platforms that we do not recommend, where you can download all these things.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, the solution we'll solve is this. Let the man on the street, let the common man like you tell the truth. So we share information. So formed a Facebook group called Movie Jabber. And the whole point was for guys to talk. Like, hey, my DVD guy is telling me this. Is it true? No, it isn't true. So when you have several people like you who are telling you that, then you're able to go empowered with that information to your DVD guy and go like, no, I know for a fact only 2 episodes are out. So I'm only paying for for one DVD.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how now movie jabbers started gaining popularity from that aspect. Then we
Yeah.
started evolving to doing screenings together as groups.
Yeah.
Because at that time when I formed it, that was the problem I was solving then, but it was just a stepping stone.
Mm-hmm.
My main goal was to get into commercial cinema, which is what my co-founder and I were really into. Making movies, superhero movies, action movies, basically not the kind of movies that are being made locally now. Nothing romantic, no drama, purely like the stuff we like, the
Yeah.
stuff that makes people go, wow, science fiction, action adventure, those kind of movies. But along the way, we ended up working with the cinemas and the distributors, like Warner Brothers distributors, Disney, all that stuff. Then we started realizing the reason why our local scene isn't growing is because of data. There's no market research. So we decided to pause all of that and focus on cinema, building that relationship, learning from the studios.
Yeah.
And then that information helped us realize for you to do anything, you have to have the crowd on your side. And that's when we sat and wondered what would be the best way to get the consumers to interact with us more so we can know about them and gain consumer insights. Conventions, events, and that's how we started doing conventions and events.
Wow. Okay, fantastic. That's hell of a journey.
Thank you.
You know, from just walking through cinemas, and now everyone, the cinemas actually, I would say the cinemas are coming to you. Like, we have screenings. Can we get these people to this screening?
Yeah.
Right. And so it seems like I was gonna ask you what gave you the confidence to launch something so niche. But it seems from what you've explained, you're only purely driven by passion and the need to get people together.
100%. People don't believe this. Like, I mean, for me personally, I believe in Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, in the Bible. And I know everybody's born into this world for a mission, for a purpose. That's why there's a desire to be excellent. There's a desire to look good, to smell good. There's a desire to live in the best house, to drive the best car.
Yeah.
You get it's there are different thoughts between, should these things be priced this high or whatnot. There are different thoughts around that.
Yeah.
But the one thing we can all agree on, whether you get it for free or you pay for it, is everybody wants the best they can get in life. That there right there is an indication that we may be fallen, but there's a residual in us that speaks to what we've been created to do.
Yeah.
To play a role in society, to play a role in fulfilling what only you can fulfill. And the best way and the best indicator of that is always, where are your passion points?
Yeah.
You get. Now, don't get me wrong, I have tried other jobs because where Movie Jabber is now, it's been like years of growth from 2011 until now. That's what, 14 years?
Yeah.
14 years. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of bumps, a lot of regrets, a lot of stupid decisions, a lot of wasted cash. Think about it, going to debt, paying for stuff out of your pockets. For example, my worst event ever. I've had two terrible Movie Jabber events, but my worst event ever, things didn't work out. Sponsor pulled out on Friday, the day before the event, setup day. We didn't sign anything, so it made sense.
Yeah.
But I'd already sunk in cash naively, for service providers to come.
Yeah.
Again, I was naive. So this is like 2019. So service providers are obviously being very shrewd people. If I was aggressive, I could have just told them, no, take your stuff back. I'm not paying you. This is not happening. Because as long as they haven't set up and as long as they haven't used your stuff, you can send them back.
Yeah.
But I kind of let them be like, oh, but we've already come. We have to set up. We'll talk after.
Yeah.
Guess who had to pay out of pockets? Like it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like almost $500,000. And then I was like, yeah, we'll make that money back somehow. COVID hit. Things were shut down in 2020.
Yeah.
So it was quite a while to pay back that money. So those are just some of the experiences I've been through that have been good and bad, that have helped us learn and grow.
Yeah.
And every day is still a learning process. Like
Yeah.
even this year's Automatsuri, there's a lot we wanted to do, we were not able to do. There's a lot of stuff we wanted to do and we were able to do. So it's just about going back and learning and seeing what worked well. There's some things the fans will love, but the exhibitors won't love.
Yeah.
There's some things the exhibitors will love, but the fans won't love.
Yeah.
But guess who's in the middle of that tug of war? It's you as the event organizer, the event owner. Everybody's expecting you to give them 100% of what they want from you, regardless of how it affects the
The
other
other person,
aspects,
yeah.
the other person. The exhibitors want this, regardless of how it affects the sponsors. Sponsors want this, regardless of how it affects the fans. So you always have to try that balancing act so that it's very, very neutral. Yeah.
You've touched on how getting the event off the ground, convincing sponsors to invest in something so niche, and then pulling out and being in this tug of war between trying to make everyone happy. Would you say those are the biggest challenges with getting this thing off the ground? Most of the time people think, of course, the money, like when you say losing 500K. But would you say that's the biggest challenge or the biggest L you've taken when trying to rally the community and make Movie Jabba a reality?
Okay. First of all, it wasn't exactly 500K. It was close to 500K, but still hurt. Now, the biggest challenge there, to be very honest with you, is just yourself.
Yeah.
It's just, how do I put it this way? Let's use Otomatsuri as an example. Otomatsuri is growing. It's growing really fast, and that's massive shout out to the fan base, the community for that. They always give us their feedback after every event, and we accept it all, good or bad. In fact, I personally say if people keep on giving you only good feedback, it means number one, they're lying to you, or they don't care enough to tell you the truth. Either way, that's not good. So the biggest challenge for me has been growing to catch up with the growth and the expectations. Because if in 1 year, for example, you have 500 people, then the next year you have 1,000 people, the dynamics change. Things are more expensive. You need a bigger venue. There's so many moving parts. So how do you and your team adapt faster enough to accommodate that? Because you can be growing, and human nature, because of our fallen nature, complacency, fear, laziness, all these things seep in so easily. Like, you don't have to teach a kid to be afraid. If you have like a 9-10 month old baby and you just like jump in front of their face and bark like a dog, they will automatically feel fear.
Do you do that?
No, I don't do that. I'm pretty sure Marvel fans do that.
That's a very specific
Marvel
example.
and One Piece fans do that. I was looking for the most innocent victim to kind of paint the picture. But you see, your reaction means like, you see, the kid who will react to that doesn't have to think twice about crying. They'll just cry because fear has checked in. Or shock, or whatever it is. So I would say the biggest challenge is just adapting faster than the scene that is growing, so that you're able to meet the demands across the board. Sponsors, exhibitors, fans, and even yourself and your team.
Nice. So I guess you really feel a lot of pride when you see, there's this challenge, but people are coming in together. And so to the fans, thank you for always, showing up for these conventions. And thank you for having fun off the back of Jotham's pain and tragedy.
Sleepless nights.
And sleepless nights. And you've brought up Otamatsuri. Maybe you could be Superman, but one with the ability to read minds, because I was going to ask you about that next.
Tell me, ask.
I see I remember from the past where we used to meet at like Junction, sort of like a parking lot, and it's expanded now to like KICC. There's a lot of growth there. And for me as a fan, I would say that is an indicator of growth. And I would say that is like a highlight of Otamatsuri, from parking lots to convention centers. What would you say is your highlight for Otamatsuri?
I think this year's event, for me, is the highlight for several factors. The first one being able to do it at KICC. That in itself is a statement. It's something we've dreamed about from way back. I remember there's a time, I don't remember the year, but I remember there's a time I went to KICC, still ignorant back then about numbers and metrics. Went to KICC to get the rates. At that time, it was like mind-blowing. Like, damn, this is so expensive. We can't hack it. Then they'll tell you stuff like, other people tell you stuff like, you can book whatever you want at KICC, but if a government event comes through, they'll kick you out, and they'll prioritize these guys. I mean, thank God the guys there, the management we've worked with at KICC proved that myth. They kind of burst the bubble when it comes to that myth. So obviously, Otmosphere was held. on the dates planned.
Yeah.
So KIC hosting it there is number one.
Mm-hmm.
Then number two, this year we got like a lot of support from people who
Mm-hmm.
really showed up. We have a guy called Kit. I don't know if I'm supposed to say his real name,
Mm-hmm.
but he has that car. I don't know if you've seen this One Piece themed car,
Mm-hmm.
yellow one.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
So he came through as
Mm-hmm.
well. We started. He reached out to us. We started a conversation, worked something out. He came through, so that was
Mm-hmm.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, and then now the crowds as well. Like for some reason, we started marketing early in March,
Mm-hmm.
and I won't lie to you. For a bit, it was a bit you're like, okay, there's no movement. People aren't talking about this. Like,
Yeah.
what's happening? You have
Mm-hmm.
those highs, lows, highs, lows.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's pretty hard to predict. Even though you've been doing it for years,
Yeah.
there's some patterns that you still can't put faith in
Mm-hmm.
because you get so sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
So number one, KICC. Number two, the overwhelming support
Mm-hmm.
from the fan base locally. Number three, our lovely visiting Japanese guests,
Mm-hmm.
artists. We had Mirai Skirt Plus,
Mm-hmm.
a Japanese idol, first time coming to Africa, first time performing in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Chonmage Japan, a really cool duo. Japanese guys, really hilarious, very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, they were great personality.
Yeah.
Then the respective managers, Camille
Mm-hmm.
for Mirai Skirt Plus, Yuho on the Chonmage side, Japan side.
Yeah.
Then we had guys like Afro Samurai, the producers, the CEO of the studio,
Mm-hmm.
Gonzo, that produced Afro Samurai.
Yeah.
Like they reached out, worked something out, and they came as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of that interest, and we just couldn't say no
Yeah.
because we're like, look, something is happening. You
Mm-hmm.
get, so we
Yeah.
have to take it. So all I can't take credit for that because these people just reached out. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you say put in the hard work, and you never know. Because last year was like, personally,
Mm-hmm.
the event organized, the couple of things that went wrong, they were really bad
Yeah.
at last year's Otamatsuri. One of them being the pin was taking guys to the wrong entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
place was great, space was great,
Mm-hmm.
but the pin was taking guys to the wrong entrance. So a lot of guys would just turn around and go back.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like serious avid fans who normally come on the regular. Some
Mhm.
of them even have my number, so they'll text me afterwards and go like, "Yo, I was coming, but the pin." So I've turned around and gone back in my cosplay. I've been
Yeah.
driving around for 1 hour. I can't get the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. All the best. So
Yeah.
the stuff like
Yeah.
that was very heartbreaking
Mm-hmm.
last year. So to see now the opposite this year, I was
Mhm.
just like, wow, this is really, really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So those will be the key things. And then obviously, lastly, uh, we've never really aggressively chased sponsors
Mm-hmm.
because we wanted to learn consumers
Mm-hmm.
and learn ourselves, our capacity. So that
Yeah.
was painful because,
Mhm.
again, you do a lot of dipping into your pockets
Yeah.
to meet the cost of things.
Yeah.
So this year we thought the time was right,
Mm-hmm.
and the brands we got just really came through and supported us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So really happy about that.
Nice. And so someone helps you mobilize the event, even brings in, their One Piece themed car, and you still hate on One Piece. Like, come on, Jotham.
Look, I'm an honest guy, man. You bring your one piece car, we'll have banter. I'll take pictures with your car.
Yeah.
But then I will most likely trash One Piece, not your car. I'll trash One Piece.
Savage. Now, how are you? How sure are you that you're already into this geek space, and then now you're branching out into this subsection of the geek culture, which is the anime fans, right? So you're going more niche already in a niche area. What gave you the confidence, or how did you know that Otamatsuri would click with the anime community, especially with one, the fact that it's niche of niche, and two, there's other competitors in the space. There's other conventions that also cater to the geek community. So how sure are you, or what made you know that Otamatsuri is the event that will click with the anime community?
So, first of all, okay, there's no specific order to this, so I'll list the elements.
Mm-hmm.
So you decide which is more important, and the guys listening as well. So the biggest thing is I always try to, number one, be approachable.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the first thing. If you're approachable, you talk to people, people can talk to you. You
Mhm.
learn a lot from people. that's the biggest benefit and the biggest lesson I've ever learned.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that from the CEO and the owner of Century Cinemax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, Mr. Muslim Jafar.
Mm-hmm.
He's very easily approachable, despite all his pool and all that he does. He's the owner of the leading cinema chain in East Africa. So if you're able to talk to people, if you're able to talk to your consumers, if you're able to talk to people who pay you their hard-earned money to give them products or services that, for some reason, gives them joy, you need to be able to talk to people.
Yeah.
Not superficially, but just generally be approachable.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps you learn stuff and understand and get the nuances. Those are what you get from such interactions. You can never capture in a survey form.
Yeah.
Never capture. You can never capture if you hire an agency to research and get that data.
Mm-hmm.
So then the other thing, now from there, you're able to learn people, interact with people. I would say the second thing is have a good team. In regards to Otomatsuri, we have a guy called Brian on the team. So Brian likes to be behind the scenes a lot. He doesn't like to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
He's also good behind the camera. He has a perfect face for behind the camera as well. So that's possibly why he likes being behind the camera.
Yeah.
Brian, if you're listening, never say I don't gas you up. So I think it was him or somebody else who realized that anime cosplayers were more than regular cosplayers when it came to like the Movie Jabber Expo, for example.
Yeah.
Anime cosplayers were more. Now I was familiar with anime. I just didn't think much about anime. But Brian was more of an anime guy than I was. So it could be Brian, it could be somebody else about this specific aspect. So we decided, but by that time, Brian initially before working together at Movie Jabber, he had been doing like workshops. Like he had something called an anime cafe, doing workshops and all that stuff. So merged together, came together. He joined Movie Jabber, then we merged together, and then came up with after a while, it was like, after the workshop started growing and inputting strategy, we're like, I think it's time for an anime convention.
Yeah.
So it was very gutsy, but I was just like, I think it's time. Like, I didn't know why, to be honest. I'm not going to take credit for that. It was possibly God, that, inner leader. I was just like, I think it's time for a convention, and went about looking for venue space, got the Alchemist. They were willing to give us a chance on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's how the first Otomatsuri came about in 2019.
Nice.
So now what I'm trying to say there is have a good team as well. Then so there's talking to people, having a good team as well, and then just generally why Otomatsuri. Now when we started doing stuff like making it like a unique thing, we realized that here in this market, guys who grew up in comic books like myself, millennials and older, right now comic books are not the in thing. Like physical hard copy comic books, not the in thing. Anime is. So it was very easy for this younger generation, because you have millennials, people like me, I don't know if you are, then you have the Gen Zs, and then you have the Gen Alphas are like younger than 12 years old, I think. So you see, anime is a common thread between those three generations. And then anime is so easy to define and focus on in this market, because not everybody grew up on comic books back then.
Yeah.
But people now are currently growing up on anime, because you have VOD platforms that make anime accessible within our region. So the minute you have an anime convention, the focal point was so much easier than, say, for example, Movie Jabber Expo, where you first have to explain who or what is Movie Jabber. Is it Movie Jabber? Or is it Movie Jabba? Stories of Jabba, you get.
Yeah.
By the time you get beyond that, okay, what is pop culture? What is comic books? What is this? You see, so it's the person you're explaining to has had to go through such a long journey. By the time they get it, they're tired. They don't care. But Otomatsuri is Japanese. Anime convention is so easy. People get it. So from a business perspective, we responded to the numbers. We responded to how guys were reacting to it. Because to be honest, when we came back after COVID, we didn't think Otomatsuri would be the thing that kind of would grow faster. We thought the Movie Jabber Expo would be it, because it has the Movie Jabber name.
Yeah.
Again, has an
And it's
X
been
in it.
there
It's
for
so
years.
cool. Yeah, MJX been there for years.
Yeah.
But then, so we did. So things opened up around late 2021.
Mm-hmm.
In 2020, December 2021, we had the Movie Jabber Expo, just out of tradition because we're happy to be back.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next year, 2022, we had Otamatsuri,
Mm-hmm.
and then things just shot up. So we started realizing it was very painful
Mm-hmm.
because for me, at the core, I'm a comic book fan.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take away anime, you can take away manga, but leave my comic
Mm-hmm.
books. Take away movies.
Leave
Comic
your
books are my
comic books.
my default. Like that's my baseline. Take
Yeah.
everything away like from entertainment, but leave me with my comic books.
Yeah.
So eventually just saw the numbers, and from a business perspective, we're like, look, it's so much easier to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to kind of plan around the ticket sales and do something as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to say a video game convention, which we have tried before. It's expensive to do
Mm-hmm.
without sponsors, and Movie Jabber Expo as well, which is expensive to do without ticket sales growing as fast as they were for Otamatsuri. Yeah.
Okay. And we've seen like we've said before, we've seen the growth, and we'd also like some insight into, especially how you say you like to know the consumer and know what the fans want. Aside from the numbers, how do you think the geek culture in Kenya has changed ever since MJX and Otamatsuri? Is there more demand? Are people more aggressive? Do you think people will come to a point and say, like with movies now, we're experiencing superhero fatigue? Is that why that's what has shifted the love to like now the anime community? Like basically, what's the geek scene like right now in Kenya?
I think I'm pretty much concerned about it,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, because there are a lot of One Piece fans. Had to slide that in.
Yeah, we're gonna hear that a lot.
They need help. They need help.
Any One Piece fans watching today might report this video. Please don't. We love y'all. Jotham doesn't, but we do.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest. So first of all, let me be a bit of a geek or a nerd and touch on that superhero fatigue topic.
Mm-hmm.
Guys are just tired of bad superhero movies.
Yeah.
People love superheroes. Like, I love superheroes. And that's why, from a merchandise perspective, superhero movies generate the most sales when it comes to merchandise. So people love it. But what they don't like is what has been happening, the ideologies, the politics, and, a couple other things that has turned people off. And I think that has allowed the attention to shift to anime
Mm-hmm.
because, again, people love fantastical worlds of adventure, which is what anime does so well.
Yeah.
Also, manga does so well. So yes, that did play a major role in boosting things up. I just wanted to clarify. Like, to me, I think superhero fatigue is not there. It's just people are just tired. We're fatigued with bad movies.
Yeah.
We've gotten bad movie fatigue.
Yeah.
What was your question again?
Like how has the geek community in Kenya changed?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the community has been there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that there's been no loud and very visible platform to draw guys out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far in Kenya, we've had Nikon and we've had Movie Jabber.
Yeah.
I'll give props to Nikon. Like, when we wanted to do a convention in 2014, we were a bit hesitant. Then out of the blue, we hear about Nikon. There's this convention, Nairobi Comic Con.
Yeah.
So we had to attend. So you've had guys like Nikon and guys like us, just, I think, from a consistency perspective, push through. There have been others, like I think East Africa Gaming Convention, EAGC. I think they were there for like 2 years, focused on video gaming, and that didn't last long. And honestly, from where I sit, I totally understand why, because it's hard, it's difficult, and not saying that to gain pity or anything, because if you decide to do something, and again take money from people, you have to take the responsibility that comes with it.
Yeah.
But I would say the scene is growing, and it's growing really fast.
Yeah.
Because people are starting to realize that there are other fans like me, and there are other opportunities for such events for people like me to meet and gather.
Yeah.
And I think we need a lot of that, whether big events with thousands of people in attendance or smaller clustered events, or even platforms such as yours. Because when we have a lot of activity like that happening, what it creates is movement. There's movement of people. So there's the social currency that is happening. Then there's the economic currency, which is what investors like to see. No investor is going to come and want to spend in Kenya if there's only Movie Jabber doing these events.
Yeah.
If it's only movie jabber doing these events and
Yeah.
they bring hundreds and thousands of people, that would be a compelling reason for them to invest. But if it's only movie jabber doing these events and they only bring in a couple of hundred people, they're not going to invest.
Yeah.
So I would say the more the merrier, and I think we're getting there. And I think a lot of guys, the hard lesson I had to learn was evolving from being just a fan to being a fan and a business person.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
being, and that's the balance needed. Because if you're a fan and you're creating something for fans, that something will be very selfish because it'll be focused on you.
Yeah.
Like if I had my way, it would be Bleach 24/7 or Full Metal Alchemist 24/7.
Yeah.
You get. But as a business person, you have to understand that you need to focus on the principles and the aspects that generate the most value for the fans and your other partners,
Yeah.
which in turn, when they find value and they're happy, you get value out of it by way of them now giving you money, which helps you to do such events, to continue doing such events. Yeah.
Yes.
So in one simple sentence, it's growing, but we need a lot more activities. We need a lot more things like this happening so that we grow at a faster rate.
Yeah.
We grow together. Yeah.
It's interesting that you mention investors who, are not really convinced to invest in the community because there's yet to be proof of growth and return on investment.
Yeah.
And that also makes me kind of shift perspective to the casual, viewer, the person who's not really deep into the culture. I just watch my movies and that's it. If someone recommends, I'll watch it. I won't go into the discussions, the jabbering element of it and anime and all that. From a casual viewer's perspective, it seems like the convention and the fans in Kenya, it seems like a very westernized thing. Like we're only mirroring global trends.
Yeah.
So do you agree with that, or do you think Kenyan fans bring their own twist to it? And if not, is Movie Jabber gonna explore that element, like trying to bring in local creators and having guys cosplay in Luanda Magere or something?
This is my favorite topic across the board, whether within Movie Jabber and creating events, and whether as well within the context of cinema and IP.
Yeah.
So let me give an example. When you're thirsty, you just want water to drink, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to stop and go like, wait, I'm Luya. I need to make sure I drink water made by a Luya.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop and go like, wait, I'm African. I need to drink water made by an African.
Yeah.
What you're looking for, especially if you're really thirsty and parched and your throat is really dry, you look for the coldest bottle of water you can get.
Yeah.
That's all that matters to you. And that's how fan base is. And that's why passion and fans are passionate. And that's the thing about passion. Passion, from a layman's perspective, focuses on how what they're after makes them feel. I love watching anime because it makes me feel this way. It makes me imagine this way. I love eating this and that. Passion. So that's a natural instinct. Yeah. So the minute we start talking about, oh, now you must support this, you must support that, you're taking things outside the realm of passion. Because see, passion is not racist.
Yeah.
Passion is not racist. Passion is not sexist. You get, passion just focuses on, I like this. As I mentioned, the example of water. You have a white guy, you have a black guy. If they're both thirsty, what are they going to need? They're going to need water.
Yeah.
You get, it's not going to be different.
Yeah.
Because the races are different. That's how passion is. But it's a brainwashing attempt if you think that the best way to grow something is by pausing and making a conscious decision to buy it. It's not going to grow because the anime industry is where it is now because of passion, the passion of the fan base, which fuels the passion of the creators.
Yeah.
And now why these things, and it's purely business. As a fan, you may not see the business side of things, but the fact that we're here and we're able to pay, for example, Showmax and watch whatever is on Showmax, it means there's a business person somewhere who keeps things running, who takes your money, to ensure that Showmax is up and running. So when you pay, you don't care how it happens. All you know is I've paid. I need to be able to access this thing.
Yeah.
So that's purely business. So, but then for that to work, you need value. So to answer you, I just wanted to give that context. So when I give my answers, it makes sense. What the local scene needs to do is just purely be business minded and understand the market. What does the market want? The market is not going to go support Londa Magere because it's Londa Magere. There's some guys who say that and insist and push back at me. But here's how you catch them. What phone are they using? If it's an Android, if it's an iPhone, it doesn't matter. But the reason why they've bought that is because of the value it offers them.
Yeah.
And it's within their budget. So why can't we have the same approach when it comes to our creative aspect?
Yeah.
And the reason behind that is the sentimental aspect of creativity overrules logic, but then we now find that we're contradicting ourselves. So if you're going to put me on the spot because I'm not focusing on African comic books, yet you should, then I can also put you on the spot. Why are you wearing Nikes? Why are you wearing Adidas?
Yeah.
You get. Why are you watching Netflix?
Yeah.
Why do you have an Android? Why do you have a Samsung? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But we've bought all these things naturally because the value they offer us. So that's where the local scene should start. We should start by learning how are all these other entities getting their products around the world. They're human beings just like us. We're creative just like them.
Yeah.
Can we make this content and show value and just grow it steadily so that in years' time, in 5 years' time, guys are talking about Londa Magere the same way they're talking about Black Panther. It's about showing value. People are talking about Black Panther today not because Disney came out and was like, support. No. They had a strategy. They had a phase-by-phase plan. They paid people. They introduced a character that looked amazing, that blew guys away, and it became popular. There was no support because he's black, you're black. It was just like people saw it and they loved the action. Other guys, yes, bought into the whole African thing, which is cool. But end of the day, it was a commercial approach to selling the IP, which is what we need to do. Yeah.
So you would ask the creators to provide value to, make their creations interesting enough for people to want to invest and, show up for events.
Yeah, just like any business. You guys here pay rent.
Yeah.
The minute you stop paying rent, what happens?
Yeah. We're shut down.
You're shut down.
Yeah.
I'm sure your owner is black.
Yeah.
Even if he's not black, and he's some other race, but he's Kenyan.
Yeah.
You're Kenyan. So you see the contradiction.
Yeah.
So why should I spend money on your stuff because you're Kenyan or you're black, but I'm not paying money on it. I'm not paying money for it because I appreciate the value. I'm paying money for it because of charity. Charity doesn't build commercial businesses. Charity has a different sector and has a different revenue stream. So you find a lot of creatives. So actually, yeah. To answer your question, what local creators need to do, and I say that because I've learned that and I'm working on it and I'm doing it, and I think Movie Jab is evidence of that. Learn the audience, create value for them, so they come to you. You can learn from them, see how you can shape your product, so you can make it better and you can sell. So we have a lot of creatives, but they need to balance that creativity with business acumen and analysis and market research. Yeah. That's what's lacking in our creative space.
Maybe we could have that conversation later.
Oh, I love such conversations. So definitely later.
When it comes to creation, there's this tug of war between creating for me versus creating for them.
Yeah.
As a creator. But we'll get to that because I'd like us to, we've talked about the growth. And I'd also like us to talk about more growth.
Sure.
So where do you see, the scene in like the next 5 years? Your vision was to bring people together to jabber about movies and pop culture. And I believe we've gotten there and we've grown seeing the expansion from, parking lots to now KICC. Is there room for more growth? And how does that look like?
There's definitely room for more growth. Any business that doesn't grow is failing. There's no stagnation in life. Even if you're like, look, I've been in this job for 10 years. blah 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 blah. I'm okay. Things are cool.
Yeah.
You're stagnating somewhere,
Yeah.
or you're progressing somewhere. Even if you've held the same position at the same company for 20 years, the question would be, okay, this is you at your company or where you work, where you're employed.
Yeah.
But let's look at your outside life. You'll find that such a person perhaps has bought land across those 20 years. He's built farms on those lands. He's selling things. He's making money. So that is growth.
Yeah.
So there's no stagnation at all in life. Any illusion of stagnation is basically you regressing. You didn't realize it. So growth has to be there. I was talking with one of our guests, Japanese guests, who came for Matsuri, and they were talking about how one event now brings in 500,000 people in 4 days. So for us right now, our 3,000 to 4,000 attendance is like massive. But then these guys are now talking about 500,000 in France.
Yeah.
So you see, that's already a target. So there's always room for growth. And so for us, in 5 years' time, I just see us, we're talking about in the thousands now. Like the goal is like tens and 20s of thousands of attendees. Maybe one of our conventions is like a week long or several days long. You get then also other avenues, other ideas and visions that we wanted to implement have manifested, and they're established and they're fully running. They've been running for a bit. And then most importantly, we have a lot of people, we have a lot of platforms like this. We have a lot of people like you earning a living from their fandom. Because that fandom is huge and has different sides to it. You're from the media side. You're interviewing people. You're giving people like me a platform. You should be earning a living from it, because now consumers should be like, oh, here's somebody who thinks like me, who likes what I like, and I can find things of interest. We have 54 million Kenyans now. Or is it? I think it's probably more than that. How many more millions will we have in 5 years' time? There's never enough. You can never really fully max out the audience. So I in 5 years' time, I want to see, and I believe we'll see, a massive growth in this sector, or in all the different avenues and all the different corners. Yeah.
So all that to say, Movie Jabber is your retirement plan.
Movie Jabber is retirement plan is maybe to join the army. But Movie Jabber is, and I would say it's my passion, my calling. You have your profession and you have your calling. It's very easy, very possible for you to be doing something and earning money from it, and it's not your calling. It's also very possible for you to be doing something you've trained for, you've gone to school for, or whatever it is, but it's also your calling. You get it's possible, and other times it's possible for those two to be completely separate. This is your calling, but you're not making money from it yet. Or it's your calling and you're making good money from it. Or it's your profession, you're not making good money from it. Or it's your profession, you're making good money from it. It just comes down now for you to be able to know, like, what am I here for? Anybody who cannot answer that question, why am I in this world? Anybody who's cannot answer that question, and their mood, their days, they go up and down based on experiences around them, is somebody who hasn't found their reason for being here. Yes, things will happen that will get you down. Don't get me wrong. A lot of those things happen. My elder brother died in our bedroom. So a lot of those things happen. But then, thank you. But when you have that focal point, it helps you weather all that, because you now have an ending in sight, a destination in sight.
Okay. Out of curiosity, you mentioned 3,000 to 4,000. Was that the attendance for this year's Otamatsuri?
Yeah, we're still doing the tallying in between, trying to take a break. But so far it's looking at definitely close to 4,000 people. We're still doing the tallying. But our goal this year, honestly, was to hit 5K. So we've gotten closer. Last year we had half of that, like 2,595. So this year we've definitely surpassed that by 1,000 plus people. So we're still tallying the final number.
Okay. And so what should this close to 4,000 people expect in the next years, in terms of tangible stuff, like content or partnerships, regional expansion? Will we hear Otamatsuri Uganda or Nigeria? Give us some spoilers.
It's funny you say Uganda, because we had some really cool Ugandans come through. It was really great having a conversation with them. I think we had an Ethiopian as well. Um, yeah, a couple guys really came through from across borders. So next year is, first of all, this may sound corporate, but it's the truth. Is
Mm-hmm.
just looking at. We're gonna have a survey out soon,
Mm-hmm.
so we see what guys liked, what guys didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
So that will inform first everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then based on that, we this year we experimented with like having two outside stages.
Yeah.
Uh, this year we experimented with not experimented like this year for no sorry this year we experimented with having an outside stage and
Mm-hmm.
an inside stage. This year we had the bar area open during the day, but
Mm-hmm.
only to those guys who are 25 years and older.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're gonna see how what the reception is based on the consumer feedback to those aspects,
Mm-hmm.
and see whether to refine them more next year.
Mm-hmm.
But our goal is just to make sure that the content is different. You
Mm-hmm.
mentioned how you mentioned yeah, early on you talked about how we as Kenyans are interpreting the geek world or the convention world
Mm-hmm.
in light of how it happens out there.
Yeah.
So that's something we always try to keep in mind. In the beginning, we thought it would be easy to copy paste what's happening there.
Mm-hmm.
It took us quite a bit, surprisingly, to realize that the major reason why we cannot exactly copy paste the conventions abroad
Yeah.
is because we don't have studios, movie studios or gaming studios physically coming to the convention, taking up space and creating all those amazing experiences,
Mm-hmm.
as well as launching, all this new, or, breaking news or surprise screenings or surprise cast appearance. You're at Otamatsuri, then,
Yeah.
John Cena walks in. You get
Yeah.
the reason why we don't have all that happening here is because the studios behind all those experiences and contents are doing that out there, which makes sense.
Yeah.
It's return on investments for them. So for us, we learned that for us to do something similar, we
Mm-hmm.
have to create our own content. But that's what also forces us to realize that we have to create it our own way. We actually have tried with local content, by the way. There was one
Mm-hmm.
time we ran, I think, a comic book pitch workshop,
Mm-hmm.
I think in 2017, where we actually gave away like 200,000 shillings to the winning pitch to have a comic book made.
Mm-hmm.
We were ignorant. The winners were ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing came off it, at
Mm-hmm.
least nothing solid to show that this was what was made and it's been on sale.
Yeah.
But it's something but learning that we have to create our own content and doing that with the community is what is helping us make this event unique in its
Mm-hmm.
own way. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Awesome. And so as we wrap up, um, we've gone deep into your personal journey that inspired you to bring and create Movie Jabba and bring it to life, as well as Otamatsuri. You've mentioned comic books, but we like to shed some light on movies, because yeah, you're in my domain now.
All right.
Yeah. What's the thing? From like Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I have a bias towards movies. Your base is comics, mine is movies. So you've told us Superman and Hulk brought you into, the geek space. What about movies? What's the one that you look back to and say, okay, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't be as invested into fandom and this entire thing.
That's a very good question. My memory may not serve me well, but then off the top of my head, I think like a lot of people, Christopher Reeve's Superman movie,
Mm-hmm.
Richard Donner's movie from 1978.
Mm-hmm.
Superman 1 in 1978. I think maybe the second one came out 2 years later or in the 80s. I don't trust me on that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would be it. Then Indiana Jones,
Mm-hmm.
specifically Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and Terminator 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then obviously Chuck Norris movies and Rambo movies.
Yeah.
So my dad was very funny,
Mm-hmm.
although now I get his reasoning. My dad would let us watch any action blockbuster that was 18 plus.
Mm-hmm.
He would let us watch all that. He used to actually buy original stuff, like
Mhm.
original movies and all that. So, but then anything 18 plus that was romantic, he wouldn't let us watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it makes sense, 100% makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
He'd rather have, your kids punching people
Yeah.
than your kids getting someone pregnant or getting pregnant,
Yeah.
So I mean that's my reasoning, but
Mhm.
who knows his reasoning? But yeah, but in nutshell, that
Mhm.
then for me, Lord of the Rings
Mhm.
was like massive,
Yeah.
especially how you hear how Peter Jackson, the director,
Mm-hmm.
invested $15 million of his own money just to get like a working, I forget what a preview something or test something,
Yeah.
just to show the studio that this is how he envisions it and it can work, and he asked
Mm-hmm.
for the budget.
Mm-hmm.
So that was amazing. But
Yeah.
I think in a nutshell, Christopher Reeve's Superman,
Mm-hmm.
1978, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Those two are the movies that I remember as a kid
Mm-hmm.
watching with my dad. I'm like, I want to be like Indiana Jones. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be like Indy.
Yeah.
Then number one, Superman. Like, I want to be like Superman. I want to fly like him. I want to be like him. I want to have his heart. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned that because we had a conversation last week about the action heroes
Yeah.
of old, like Indiana Jones and Rambo,
Yeah.
and heroes of now, and how they play that line of masculinity and telling us about how masculinity has changed. Maybe just go watch that conversation and tell us what you think. Do you think men have changed and that's informed the action hero right now? But yeah, for me, I think that's what's up. But we just want to wrap up, and what would be your parting shot to young creatives or aspiring entrepreneurs, someone who was like you and thought, I have this idea of maybe a watch party or something very niche for my community, but it just sounds like a stupid idea. I don't think Safaricom is going to invest in it, or whichever other corporate. You're a living example of a niche idea that came to life and is now bringing in investors. So what would be your parting shot to someone like that?
I would say start today with the mindset that start your business today with the mindset that you'd like it to have in future.
Yeah.
What I mean is this, like, I should treat Movie Jabber today how I want it to be in future. Like,
Yeah.
if let's say in a year from now, Movie Jabber has its own building,
Mhm.
big logo at the front,
Yeah.
parking lot and all that stuff,
Mhm.
and you have tons of employees under you, resources, equipment that you have to manage. What kind of mindset would you need to have at that point to manage all of that? So
Mhm.
whatever that mindset is, have it now,
Mhm.
so that you're not just starting as a fan or ignorant, and then along the way you're making a lot of changes left, right, up, down. It will
Mhm.
demoralize you, it will confuse you as well,
Yeah.
and it will shock you, because if you're not ready, if you didn't plan in advance,
Mhm.
this is where we want to be, so let me work backwards. If you don't do that, you'll be easily demoralized, because things change, people change. Guys will be like, they'll sponsor you today, but they won't sponsor you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But end of the day, sponsors don't pay you, and that's something I had to learn. Sponsors don't give you money to bring your dream to life, your ideas to life.
Mhm.
Sponsors give you money for you to help them make more money back in
Mhm.
return. Like,
Yeah.
that's what, it's not about your ideas, it's about how can this idea give them value. So you
Mhm.
need to understand that. So you may think, I want to have a watch party, but in the parking lot, or rather watch party at Cancom in the middle of traffic.
Mhm.
That's a good idea for you,
Mhm.
but how is it helping Safaricom make money?
Mhm.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So think like that, work backwards, and implement all those aspects now,
Mhm.
so that it becomes a faster and more efficient growth. You
Mhm.
cannot run away from growth, it's
Yeah.
unavoidable. There's some things that may take 2 years, some things that have to take 3 years, or 1 year, or 1 month. But what makes the difference is how efficient has that growth process been
Mhm.
for you, with your learning, your lessons, your attitudes, and everything else involved.
Mhm.
So that's the biggest advice I would give. And don't give up.
Mhm.
Honestly, things are easier now than before, because now
Mhm.
you have easy access to information, technology, WhatsApp, smartphones.
Mhm.
It's so easy to receive, and it's so easy to put out.
Mhm.
But that easiness, I realize, has removed the tenacity from people.
Mhm.
The tenacity, the aggression, the drive.
Yeah.
So you find one small mishap, and
Mhm.
that's it. People have given up.
Yeah.
People have let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you
Thank you for
for
having me.
being so encouraging. Thank you for giving us your origin story, your villain arc. We are beneficiaries of your pain because someone stole your comic books.
Yep, it has to start somewhere.
Yeah. So thank you so much for giving us insight into your thoughts on the growth of the geek culture and where you see it going in the future. Thank you for sharing encouraging tips and words of wisdom to any young aspiring creative and entrepreneur. And thank you so much for being a guest on Certified Cinema. This are your 15 seconds of fame. Tell us where to find you. Tell us what events you have coming up right into this camera.
Hi everyone, Jotham from Movie Jabber. Thank you very much for having me. You can find us online, moviejabber.world, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok. It's all the same at Movie Jabber. So that's where we pretty much post everything. Right now, I know guys are going crazy with posting highlights. For those who attended Otomatsuri, that is, feel free to share yours. As for what we have planned, we do have a couple things planned between now and end of the year. Right now, we have Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle, advanced screenings, actually still on sale. I think the first screen has sold out. So whether or not we may open a second screen, who knows? But yeah, so that's my 15 seconds of fame, or even longer. But thank you guys.
Wait, and asking for the fans.
Yeah.
Movie Jabber Expo this year. Any news on that?
So I'll just be very honest. I think it's pretty clear to everybody. We won't be doing a Movie Jabber Expo. Reason being our strategy changed. With the goal to make Otomatsuri better every year, our planning with Otomatsuri gets more comprehensive and more intense every year. Like this year, we started selling tickets in March, but pre-planning started way earlier.
Yeah.
So, and the bigger it grows, the more we realize the longer the planning has to be. So by the time we're done with Otomatsuri, December is here. So as to whether or not MJX makes a comeback this year or next year, that honestly is a TBC kind of scenario. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just coming down to the strategy and what helps put up a great event.
Okay. So the thing we're looking forward to is the Demon Slayer screening.
September.
And it's funny you mentioned that. Let me close this off with another fun fact. In 2020, so I may have cheated when I asked you for to give a parting shot for someone wanting to do a watch party. I was asking for a friend. In 2020, I had this idea to do a watch party for Demon Slayer, and I remember we had a meeting with you and also Nairobi Otaku Shop.
Yeah.
And the concern there was like people don't usually show up for these movies, so we might not get to do the Demon Slayer watch party because we might not get the movie. And it's a thing of pride because I used to pray for times like this, and we're no longer asking to be given these movies. They're coming. I think studios are being open and shipping these movies to us.
Yeah.
So just a calling to everyone there, any movie lover, all the anime lovers, always show up for these screenings, no matter how small it sounds, no matter how unpopular or dividing the anime might be. Let's keep on showing up for these screenings, because I believe showing up for previous screenings like Suzume or Dragon Ball has built the repertoire of the East African audience, and that's why we are able to sell out one screen. So congratulations once more.
Thank you to the fan base. It's been a long journey.
Yeah.
We're still not there yet because right now we can only have the big ones, Demon Slayer, One Piece.
Yeah.
So we still need to keep coming out.
Yeah.
Because I remember we're the first ones to bring, I don't remember what it was, but we did One Piece Film Red.
Yeah.
We actually had to spend money on it as well. And then the fans came through.
Yeah.
So it's all about money. People just have to understand. It's you're a fan, I'm a fan, but for us to get these movies here, somebody has to spend money somewhere.
Yeah.
And that person has to make their money back.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. So yeah, guys, come through. If another screening opens up again, please buy your tickets.
All right. Thank you so much, Jotham. And we'll see you on another show.
Thank you very much, dude.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Certified Cinema Live on Icon Radio. We just had a fantastic guest. Today we had Jotham Micah, who is the co-founder of Movie Jabber. Movie Jabba is a convention, is the organizers, is the group rather, behind your favorite conventions happening in Nairobi, which are Movie Jabba Expo and the recently concluded Otamatsuri. Those conventions bring together lovers of of pop culture in Kenya, all the movie enthusiasts, the anime lovers, cosplayers, video game nerds, all congregate during Otamatsuri and also in Movie Jabba. And we had a dissection of how the geek culture has grown in Kenya and where it's going. And thank you to everyone who shows up for these events. Thank you to everyone who listens to shows like this, because you prove that the community is strong in Kenya. You prove that the community is growing. And the more we have a community, the more we are able to bring in investors who are able to sponsor such events, who are able to bring in such great content like the movies, the animes, and the TV shows that we talk about, because that's what we want. We want to have quality content that brings us together to talk about, and in Jotham's words, to jabba about this content. So thank you so much for listening. And as we wrap up today's show, we always like to leave you with something to go home with, aside from Jotham's wise words to any aspiring creative and entrepreneur to just start and have faith in yourself. We want to take you home and leave you with something to watch. Hence, drum rolls, Read the Room. Read the Room is our segment of the show where we highlight movies and TV shows to watch this week based on global happenings and current affairs in movies, TVs, and in global affairs in general. And what do we have lined up for you today? So, today we have two new movies coming out in cinema on the same date of very opposing natures, but that's a good thing for you because now you have more variety. Number one, we have Caught Stealing, starring Austin Butler, Zoe Kravitz, and Matt Smith. So this movie follows Austin Butler's character, who's been dragged into this world of crime by one of his acquaintances. And so we are following him as he tries to wrap his head around the conspiracy that's going around, and trying to understand why his life is in danger and why he's being chased by Jewish mobsters. So it's directed by Darren Aronofsky, the same guy who's brought you some of your favorite classics. I'm trying to remember one. I'll do my homework better next time. But that name is actually very familiar, and it's quite a respected name in the movie space. So I want to see why people are very geared towards his work. And of course, Austin Butler is proving to be one of the rising movie stars of our generation. Him and Zoe Kravitz have been putting in the work, appearing in like The Batman, and Austin Butler putting in a solid performance in Dune Part 2. And now he's soloing his own movie again after starring in Elvis, and now we have him in Caught Stealing. So I'll definitely be showing up for this. Sisi kama watu wa Deep State at Certified Cinema, we've been invited for an exclusive preview of Caught Stealing that's happening today. You guys will be seeing it at the official premiere that's happening tomorrow on August 29th. So allow us to be your inside men and women at this event. We'll go see it and tell you what to expect. And for movie number 2, we have The Roses, another movie that's coming out tomorrow. Same time, same place, in cinemas, same time as Caught Stealing. Now, this is a romantic comedy. So for my rom-com people, you guys seem to be eating good this year. And we have another one starring Benedict Cumberbatch, aka Doctor Strange in the MCU. And also alongside him is Olivia Colman, who stars in The Bear, had an appearance in The Bear. And we also have Andy Samberg on this one. You probably know him from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So for lovers of the show, if you've been wondering what he's been up to ever since the show ended, you want to see more of him, make sure to watch The Roses. And if you love and are into rom-com, this is the movie for you. For our third pick of Read the Room is Scream, because you're still reeling over the fact that Scary Movie 6 has just been announced. Now, last week we watched Scary Movie. It was in our list for Read the Room last week. And today we want to watch Scream, which is the movie that Scary Movie has been parodying. This is what, is a staple in the horror slasher genre, especially revolving around teenagers and serial killers. This has been the staple for for Scary Movie, and it's what started it all. So we're gonna make sure we see Scream, the 90s movie, just to get a gist of where it all started. And finally, since we were talking about the geek culture today and how far it's come in Kenya and where it's going, we are going to watch the movie that made the nerd and the geek culture popular not only in Kenya, but also around the world. When you think about conventions, when you think about fandoms, when you think about cosplayers and comic books, this is one franchise that popularized the medium and made the community come to life. I'm talking about none other than Star Wars. Yes, so for our fourth pick of the day, we have Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. This was the first Star Wars movie that started it all and brought the Star Wars franchise to life, and now brought about the conversation about the Jedi and the Sith, and had cosplayers lining up in theaters to see what this new franchise has to offer. And from there, the nerd culture started growing to where we are now, having conventions like MJX, Otamatsuri, and even Nikon. So this is the movie that brought it all together. And in celebration of the geek culture and more to come, we want to see where it all started. If you haven't seen it, make sure to see it. If you've seen it, make sure to see it again, like me. So just to cap it all off, a rundown of the list today on Read the Room, we will be watching Caught Stealing, coming out in cinemas tomorrow, August 29th. The Roses, starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman, also coming out tomorrow, August the 29th, in cinemas. So for my rom-com people, my crime thriller people, Austin Butler lovers and Benedict Cumberbatch lovers, all the ladies who are reeling over those two men, this is the weekend for you. And then we'll be watching Scream as we gear up and celebrate the announcement of Scary Movie 6. Scream is the movie that started it all, so make sure to see it. And as we celebrate geek culture, we want to see where it all started. So we will be watching Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And that is it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for always being part of the conversation. Thank you for always dropping your comments, your DMs, telling us what to talk about next. Thank you for giving us your opinions on the topics we talk about, and also challenging our guests and the ideas that they bring onto the show and add onto the conversation. Thank you for sticking with us all the way from airing number 1 up to today airing number 8, and we hope to see you more and more. I have been your ever dependable host, your movie reviewer, movie recommender, and nerd evangelist, Champez Nawiri. This is Certified Cinema, and I will see you here next Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. only here on Icon Radio. Thank you and have a good night.